You see, this is the stuff that I don't like. This is the stuff that makes me angry. Today, again, we're going to be dedicating the time to a new individual who got involved in crime against me per Novo Mesto police, so-called police department. Yeah, you lock me when you do that stuff. And many of you did this stuff. And that's what I ended up then losing time that I could use, free time, and go out there and have fun. That's what you guys did. And that's how then you pay for it. Exactly where the laptop is, exactly the laptop that I have. The so-called police investigators from Novo Mesto police station inside of our house, around the table. Neighbor Metua Dierman was involved in this. Criminals from Novo Mesto police station, 2022 individual who met me when I came on the police station to inquire about my father's health files, was talking to me as one of them. They had arguments with Americans. Americans claimed them that this goes into the category if something like this would have taken place. If he would go after me on a road and assault me, they absolutely procalculated everything. And so American police told them that this equals to the battery. Okay, physical assault. Misdemeanor. If on a public infrastructure, such as a road, whatever, you could be charged with a battery when it comes to this stuff. The two police officers were really, really hasty, eager to tell me that this is not United States of America. This is not how that this is not like in America. They don't even issue the case number and that kind of stuff. And it appeared like the two were in a hurry. The police investigators were in a complete disbelief of American interpretation of the law. Of course, it would have been different if I was on the property, on his property. But in this case, Novo Mesto so-called police officers were certain that even meters would be making a difference, such as a border, the border, the garage between the two garages, that will make a big difference. Of course, you can see that garage is in making. This is the garage this owner here was hallucinating about since he put the house here. And he put the house here in this place sometimes just after I finished the high school, something like this from what I recall. I don't know, 1992, something like that would be the time when he built this house here. The workshop was his dream. This was his dream, the workshop. And it's interesting because he did not build this workshop for so many years, and always during MK Ultra, always hallucinated about, talking about the older guy, older man. They were certain that if I was to make a police phone call, it wouldn't be enough for me to be on this side of the road, therefore opposite side of the road than where the house is located. And even behind the house, that would not be enough. They claimed during MK Ultra that maybe I could survive if I did find myself, if I did manage to get at least past the property, past the borderline. This, by the way, are relatives from what I recall. They are associated, they are related to one another. These two. The mother, I think, is from Maribor or something like this. I don't know. some kind of relationship with them. Maybe on the mother side, I would say. I don't know. I have to think about that stuff. I don't want to get myself into that stuff when I'm doing this stuff. But it doesn't matter. These people were involved. Actually, it matters a lot in a lot of MK Ultra. Obviously, based on, not that it would make any difference, because a road is just public. This is not property from anybody. This is from the government. This is from the taxpayers, for everybody free to use this. That's all there is to it. That's it. End of debate. If was to trust this video here, I most likely was located during this incident. I would say I was located about right here somewhere. Just as you see this window, I would say this was the area that would be parallel to where I probably was. Okay, and of course I was on the other side of the road. Basically, I was on this side of the road. So he had no reason to come from behind the house. Absolutely had no reason. And assault me right here at this location. He had no reason. I had the right to be here and use the telephone to call the police. This is my right. It's simple as that. I noticed the police, the so-called police officers, Slovenian, this is like a bunch of thugs. They were learning the law as they were creating the incidents, setups. And this just happened, so it was one of the setups. They had a problem with even understanding basically the way they started to count the meters and the border and where the border is. And were concentrated on faking the garage that you see here. You see the garage? This is Google 2025, the stuff that you see right there. The beginning of the 2025, you can see that this garage was still in making, right? You can see that, right? You can see that the garage, only the garage was still in making, if you understand me what I'm saying. Only the garage was still in making. The garage was not completed. Till 2025. Till 2025. I don't precisely remember, I don't precisely recall exactly what the story is about these two houses, because I spent in United States of America 11 years and a half. I left to United States of America in 1995. And these two houses here, this is where all the thuggery was. You see, this is located at the end of the village, toward nowhere. And this is where entire village would gather itself for a violence. Also, they would bring people from the area. This is total gang stuff of Milan Kučan. Classic, the way it's done. So this here was of no interest to me this year. I was not interested. I wasn't paying attention. And that's exactly what the female police officer today who met me was hoping that I would state that, you know, they build a house here in, 2012 or something like that. This was not a one-time deal. This was a repeated deal with what finally police presented even as a garage on the laptop. That's why it's so important that I tell you that police brainwashed in front of the computer for me to, in reality, view the garage when there was no garage. Basically, they were painting in my head a garage through the fake properties, not fake properties, but through the properties, really properties, where they would do exactly the stuff like this, which matched somewhat description or perception, not a virtual perception, but in real time of these two properties. And so finally, the criminal from Novo Mesto police station who met me in 2022 at the police station, he painted on the picture what he presented as a Google Maps to me. That's what they were doing. He's going to have to explain this stuff. Also, what it looked like a garage, and they started to worry about where it would be, what it would be my fault, and so on. So this doesn't have anything to do with it. I could be right here in front of the house like this, as long as I would be on a public property. Even if I would be right here, he couldn't do a shit about it. Everything you do when it comes to physical violence, physical restraint and stuff like that, if you do it on a public road, you are totally responsible for it. It's not on your property. You're responsible for the stuff you do. This is just a public. You're nobody here. This here road, this line here, you're nobody. You're nobody. I do not rely on this kind of stuff. The way they interpreted this stuff, I don't rely on this stuff. I'm going to explain to you exactly what I rely on. I rely on a simple logic. I was wrong about earlier stating that this incident took place here somewhere, at this location here at the trash bin. Yeah, I still think it was somewhere here. It might have been because this is what the police brainwashed me, that they insisted me that it would be somewhere here. So we're talking about the timing here. We're talking about, I'm not going to say excellent timing, but basically targeting at a specific area, almost to a meter exact. That's exactly what we are talking about. This individual stated me during MK Ultra, and I don't know whether that's true or not, and it doesn't matter, because you can drive slowly, you can drive faster, you can make a combination of your driving based on GPS location, positioning of the target which is moving. If you train easily with the car, you can go and you can catch up with an individual at a certain location to the meter exact. That's what police was playing. Police. I don't feel like calling this police. Sorry. That's what they were playing all along with this kind of stuff. This was a specialty. This was their special. That is their specialty. That's also a terrorism. They were convincing me that this is going to take actually here somewhere where there is even more area, more space. I don't know. I don't think so. It probably took here. He hallucinated that this will take, during MK Ultra, he hallucinated this will take in an area where the road is very narrow and there is not enough space for two cars and so on and so forth. You know, I don't rely on this kind of bullshit. I rely on exactly the same things as the judges rely on. That's basically on a fucking common sense, and also on the laws, on a simple laws. And the common sense is telling me, if you walk exactly where I'm at right now, and that's exactly like this, I was exactly like this on the road, like this. So I was definitely not on his side of the road. I was on my side of the road. And why not? I don't care. I'll make it like this. But I was on my side of the road. I do not bully, I do not harass cars. I make sure that I am off the road. You know, I'm a serious participant in the traffic. I don't fuck around. I don't have a time to fuck around, to put it plain and simple. He did not. You do not. When you see a pedestrian, let's say that this is a pedestrian going here. Let's say that's a pedestrian. You do not come behind him in a neutral mode, in such a way that you come close to him, that you scare the shit out of him, that you freak him out. And fast, so, with a speed. And that's exactly the words that I repeat, are exactly the words he used during MK Ultra. He literally described me the incident he will orchestrate on the day of this incident. Do you understand me? This is not an ordinary incident. This is a well-planted by the police incident. And it's a list of the incidents that these criminals here from this bunker here continue to enforce. This is not the first incident. A very similar incident to this one was, they alone gestured me. This one is going to be tied to Gedjo. And then we're going to start the proceedings against you. A Gedjo incident traces all the way to 2021 or 2022, I don't know. It was assault. It was a physical assault on me. It was a physical assault on me that did not go well for the police. Simple as this. And that's why I'm going to accent. This is the second type of physical assault on me. This is a physical assault. This is a battery you do. Planned on literally by the police, searching for problems. Searching for problems, basically. Searching for problems. Do they have the reason to search for problems? I don't know. Probably they do. It's just not of their help. It's not helping them out. Things are just not getting the way they contemplated on. It's not coming out the way they said they're going to be adding the points. I proceeded. You're going to hear me now. I cursed him out when he did this shit. When he freaked me out like this. It's a law that states, demands from you, it's a basic traffic law for all the participants in a traffic, on a motorized or in motorized vehicles, that pertains to the pedestrians. If you see the pedestrian, your job, in case you have a difficulty passing this person, is to reduce the speed and make yourself enough visible to the person so that person even use the signal, the horn signal, for the person can move away from, if the person is obstructing you. But there is no law that gestures you that you can do the stuff like this, that you can go and you can, because your home is near or whatever, that you can go and you can, you can scare the shit out of the person. There's no law that gestures that you can play with your vehicle, with your car on the road with the pedestrians in absolutely any fucking way. Maybe that's not enough place here for the two cars, but I really don't give a fuck about that. Your job is to reduce the speed on a proper speed and slowly proceed next to the pedestrian on a safe distance for the pedestrian so he doesn't feel threatened. I'm going to put it this way. And that's exactly what not happened today. So this, for me personally, I rely on a very, very, very simple logic. I'm not going to go and complicate this stuff. I'm not interested in the meters. I'm not interested in... they anticipated I will have dispute with him. He did anger me. He really angered me with this kind of... and all I wanted is basically for him to acknowledge, hey, there's enough space over there. There's enough space over there for two cars. There really is. What the hell would he do if he had another car coming from the opposite direction, let's say? Well, whether he like it to do or he not like it to do, he would simply have to move himself to the right side enough to give the car from the opposite direction a chance to go past. I should say proceed, because this is enough space for two cars. You understand me what I'm saying? Or if he is unsecure about, or if he's willing to give the other guy, the other driver, ability to proceed, he could stop the vehicle and let him, if it's a big oversized vehicle, whatever, you let him go. You let him go past. That's simple as this. The traffic is about politeness. It's about working with one another. And this guy did not work with me today. He did not acknowledge anything when I came here to this area here. Let me see that. It's asphalt, and what I want to do is I want to go here.
That stuff is evident from video camera because I took the camera in my hand. Now I can talk about MK Ultra, about the stuff that went on, the judge and stuff like this. This stuff was eventually rehearsed over and over again by entire village. People from the village were involved in this stuff, and it was not on one occasion. This incident took during MK Ultra.
I thought that I'm going to stop, and that's going to give me a chance to
finish video recording basically the incident. But at the time of the incident, I did not have the camera on, but the recorder was on. So it easy is to prove where exactly he physically assaulted me, just as I explained.
To put it plain and simple, do you see where the Clio is, the car? I did step what would be maybe considered his property. If I was on this side of the property, I would have to move myself away from the traffic anyways. So I did step on his, what would be considered this asphalt here, if this is considered his property, but I did not go up, I did not enter anywhere. Just on the edge of this here is where I stopped, to put it plain and simple. And so I asked the guy why was it necessary to do that stuff? There is enough space for 2 cars, and he just exploded. He wanted to have a physical fight with me. He already started, as soon as I came there, jumped out of the car, wanted to have a physical confrontation with me, but implied on the children that he doesn't want the children to see whatever he was about to do with me. So he threatened something, which I yet have to see from the audio recorder what exactly happened. And so this is why I instead move away and I came to this area here. I didn't feel like I want to wait for him. This is actually the original recording, is this one here. This here would be the original recording.
I did not make a step out of here. The guy came.
This is the original recording right here. If I go here,
I did not make a step out.
That somebody's not going to think that I am where exactly I was during calling of the police.
Space for 2 cars. He was coming from the city back to his property here. He was about where the traffic
I totally point out wrong. You know,
scared me because it looked like the guy wanted to go into me with a car. That's one thing. The second thing, I came to his property right here.
Yeah, but that's not his property, and the telephone I'm recording with was a problem. I had a real problem because the telephone was not adjusted, the brightness. It was extremely sunny day, which the 2 police officers have also abused. Based on MK Ultra scenario, they abused that stuff. I will get to details about that stuff. No, not here, obviously not here, but just the way I explained right there. And the telephone, to get things even better, is broken. The screen needs to be fixed. Doesn't matter. I explained everything about that stuff.
There.
Yeah, there. Really not there. What matters here in this situation is...
You don't have to drive into me. When you drive on...
What matters in this situation is... Basically, what matters in this situation is exactly my position, exactly where I stand at. And I did kind of a poor job, for that matter. That was not exactly the best job, but clearly you can see that where I am at, that's not his garage. That's a white property right there. That's from the neighbor. Yeah, you can actually see the rear windows of this property from the neighbor right here at the beginning. You can see the window actually here in the corner. So I believe that I was somewhere on the midst of this garage. Here. Not this one, which is a brown thing, but this one here. I believe that I was, not that I believe, I was right here toward the end of it, not at the middle of it, but I was right here at the end of it, right here. At the end of it is where, exactly like this. This is exactly where I was at. So we could go and we can count meters, and that's exactly what it will come to. Somewhere here, where this window is, somewhere here, this is where I was. This is not on his property, for one thing. Even that this is, like I said, this is a road, but it doesn't matter. That stuff doesn't matter. That's all there is to it. The police officers who came were smart enough to first park car here, which I gestured them based on MK Ultra scenario. We had also the guy cutting the whatever this is, JIT or whatever. Just exactly because they didn't rehearse this one time. They rehearsed this on multiple occasions, not one time. And I told you that in this kind of lynchings, entire village was involved. This incident was rehearsed on several occasions with the police participating in it. And have reversed their car here, which guy just left. The father just left to his weekend house, whatever. And so there was parking area here. So they reversed backwards here to this area, step out of the car, and have positioned me exactly based on MK Ultra against the sun. We'll never forget the lady today, the police officer, female, who told me it will be sun we will use, and the sun will be in the background, and you will be standing like this, and we will be standing like that, and it will be shining in your face, and was asking me during MK Ultra if that does not bother me. Now, this female was related to the man, to the male police officer, through the incident which gestured a novel mass of criminals from the so-called police station the ability to, based on crime enforcement against me, to file even a complaint. Yeah, they had a special complaint department from during MK Ultra, which allowed them, like in this case, the guy, this individual, this male, I don't know, I liked him because he kind of looked like one American actor that was a comical actor. But his last name was, I still cannot pronounce it. I did not thought about this last name, but it's extremely Serbian, which he did not even comment during MK Ultra, and she did not even look like a Serbian. I don't know. I did not take people during MK Ultra so seriously, obviously, as I take now. And so the people are nice, it didn't mean shit. But I did profile him based on his last name, which is a Serbian last name. Frankly, Serbs are not natives here. And if the stuff was done to a Serb by, actually, if this was a Serbia and they would deliver a Serbian here and do the stuff to him, sorry, what the hell am I talking about? If this shit was done to the Serbian in in Serbia by the Slovenian guy, which doesn't exist. But if that will be done to him, he would have the reason, absolutely, he would have the reason to be concerned about the presence of the Slovenian people in his country. Absolutely. They expanded this issue on, this is an ethnic country. Slovenia is an ethnic country. This is not multicultural country. This is an ethnic country. Like Italy is ethnic, Germany is ethnic, Britain is more multicultural. It's got associated with imperialism and stuff. France too. But Poland, Czech Republic, and this is more multicultural now than what it was. But those are considered as ethnic countries. They are not considered like in the United States of America, which is a multi-ethnic country. Like Yugoslavia used to be a multi-ethnic country. Yugoslavia used to be multi-ethnic country. No, this is Slovenia that's separated from Greater Serbian Chetnik state known as Yugoslavia. It is just as simple. And so, given that that I strictly rely, based on violence, based on the stuff that was done to me in Serbia and in Slovenia by the Serbs engaged in torture directly right here in Slovenia, not only in Serbia. Of course, I had a good reason to profile people, ethnically profile people. If you understand me, he's not from Nigeria, or he's not from China, or with the China I could be already sensitive if he would not be on my side, because they sided a lot with Milan Kucan, with the Borut Pahor, with the Tanja Fajon, to put it plain and simple. Not because I would have any kind of racial or ethnic, tendencies, pretensions, or whatever, but because of other issues, political issues. The stuff that I do is a political journalism. Actually, it's investigative political journalism. Nobody else does the stuff that I do in this world. It's very specific, and this police station was involved and is involved in Mount Everest of crime against me. So yes, the reason that I had concerns about who the police officers were, also because of other reasons, which I stated in the blog. There are reasons too many to count. What went on during Yugoslavia with me, what Serbs were doing, what the use the Slovenian police was, and so on. I had a problem with it. I was barely waiting to have Slovenian men and females in a police uniforms. What I got instead is a knife in the back from own domestic Slovenian people. I have a reason to worry about. That's why I canceled you, Slovenes. This is the reason why. I practically made it this country just to be abused like this on the doorsteps of my own home. The sun even played an important factor to her. She was of a darkened complexion, about as dark as myself, and managed to obtain during MK Ultra, based on her facial characteristics, rejection from me. This girl that was there today flirted with me. She literally flirted with me. She was involved in MK Ultra before maybe before she even went into the police academy. But the thing is that she was not my type. This isn't about light or dark complexion. This is about other issues. And what the fuck can I do about this? When you're just not my type, you're just not my type. And then so what she invented is that I was profiling and so on. And it was this crybaby, the guy who came today, that complained about how I profile and so on, that he's got a Serbian last name and so on. This guy is not even Serbian, the guy who came today. He's got a last name, a Serbian last name, but his parents are not Serbian. These people are in Slovenia, from what I recall, based on MK Ultra, for a very long time. several generations, it appears to me, were already here, at least 2 generations or something like that. And I think the mom is even blonde or something like that. I don't know. Slovenian. And so what the fuck he was complaining about me being ethnically sensitive in respect to his last name? She became his partner. Well, it's important for me to tell that the two worked together since, I don't know, I think maybe like since 2012 or 2013, 2012. But that's a pretty long time. When you add all these numbers together, that adds up to, I don't know, maybe what? Because it's already 2025. You would not believe this shit, like 13 years working together next to one another. Because of this case, because of my obviously being ethnic bigot, like situation in, in a Ukraine, let's say, where you have a Russian minority. For me, it was very evident when it comes to the Serbian minority because of what Yugoslavia later experienced. And the thing is that it wasn't even about ethnic shit. It was about the Serbs that were used to do harm, damage to the Slovenes, Croats, Bosnian people, Kosovo people, Macedonian people, and always managed to get away with it without even having a single scratch. As a Serb, you could do whatever you wanted to do in Yugoslavia. Serbs considered Yugoslavia as Serbia. That was explained not only to me, but to everybody that Serbian leadership interacted with in Slovenia. For them, it was completely out of question to upgrade morals in respect to democracy. I suggested them that they were asking me what bothers you and so on. I said, I always started like in Austria it's like this, or in Italy it's like this, and no, we cannot have that. We cannot have that, we cannot have that, we cannot have that. Well, today the Serbia is burning. And that's exactly what I told them when I was 14 years old. I told them when Slovenia, Croatia, and all these countries are going to separate, and you're going to be by yourself, your people are still going to have a problem. The same problem that we have today in Yugoslavia. Because today, you have others you can inflict harm, damage to. But when everybody is going to leave this so-called Yugoslavia and you're going to be all left by yourself, that's when the problems are going to break out between you and your people. I told these Serbs, I told this Milosevic, I told these people, Karadzic, all these psychiatrists, Karadzic, all these people that I interacted, Mladic. This was a group of circle of people, a lot of people. I told them this stuff, and they wouldn't believe me. No? Serbia has a domestic war today. It's not today, it's been already for some time. It says here, over 30 journalists attacked in under 2 months. You see, the stuff they were doing to others during Yugoslavia, this is exactly what goes on. They don't have anybody they can pick on. And that's exactly what goes on. They still have somebody when Slovenian police hijacked me, trafficked me to the Serbia. And this individual was just one of the people that he apparently had a property in Serbia where he would deliver me. They had somebody they could disperse. Father, talking about the father. They had somebody they could disperse their anger, their frustration on. That's what the MK Ultra is, giving him all kinds of background, people with the backgrounds, whether that be classes or even different ethnicities within the system, ability to torture a certain individual. In Slovenia, this was popular for Slovenian police, throwing me to the Roma people, let's say, and gesture them, there it is, that's a Slovenian, you can do with him whatever you want. So you're not going to say that we prejudge against you, we want to work with you, tell us what you need, and we're going to make contract with you, and we're going to work with you, but you must understand that we treat you the same like Slovenian people. It was peace on earth. But when I was gone of MK Ultra picture, you can read in the media, in Slovenian media, a lot of all kinds of trouble the police has, not the police are trouble. problems breaking out between these communities, because there is no more that link that they used to have. That's what MK Ultra in my case also was used for. Not only espionage and all kinds of trafficking and shit, but also was used for. And you can see in Serbia, people took to the streets, and the regime of Milosevic, which is Aleksandar Vucic, still does not understand a fucking thing about what time it is. They do not understand it, they never we understand. Yugoslavia had a motto, udri sina, ubi oca. Hit your son, kill your father. That was the motto of the Yugoslavia. That's a motto of domestic violence. That's how they enforce this stuff, my entire case. So there is nothing else here to say. Yeah, that's all there is. That's all that pertains to MK Ultra, to this case here. The two police officers were not interested in hearing anything about MK Ultra when I mentioned them. They asked me if I know this guy, how I know him. She was interested, based on MK Ultra brainwash, to learn as much as possible my claims I made her during MK Ultra. So she was using exactly statements she obtained during MK Ultra. This girl, she acknowledged me not in the face, but indirectly, repeatedly, is mentally ill because of the answers that she obtained from me during MK Ultra. She was certain that I'm mentally ill, that I'm going to be easy job. That's how she considered me. And the two with this police officer made the team. This police officer was certain that he will be the one who's going to put me behind bars for the rest of my life. Not bars, but psychiatric hospital. He enjoyed the walks with my neighbor, Metod Jerman, through the village, and the so-called investigators from Novo Mesto police station. He many times escorted during MK Ultra on a trail right here through the village, behind the village, and then on the trail here that you see. Just like the garage did not exist, this also did not exist. It also was a trail, for the tractors and stuff like this, just macadam. I don't know how you say macadam. Farm road, basically, farm road, you understand? And that's where they would go, and he would have a gig about this stuff, and he was asking me about what exactly I see in him, facially, because I could never relate him somehow to the Serbia or whatever. The Serbs did this shit to themselves, all by themselves. The thing is, they didn't do anything to themselves. They had a free pass. They did really, really well. They have stolen territories in Bosnia like you would not believe, and beyond that stuff. They have absolutely nothing to complain. That's all there is in respect to this case. The two police officers wanted to reduce this issue between him and me. This issue was exploited by the psychiatrist Petar Kapš, police, to intimidate during MK Ultra what would be my going for a walk, and not only by them, but people in area, because this is a collective thing, insisted on psychiatrist Petar Kapš keep asking me all the way to Šmarješke Toplice, which is, 4 hours away from here, walking in this direction, if they already came to pick me up, if I already see them. And he was referring to a police van. So I should have been afraid by going out there for a walk. I should have been actually hallucinating about the police van that would be coming to pick me up at just about any time. This is what the scum was doing. This is what this police was doing. This is what they were doing. So no, I don't give a 3F about whether this was here, where there is enough space. I don't want any of that stuff. Whatever the hell this stuff happened, I did have to myself this much road like this, this is completely fair to say. And, you know, you have enough space here for your car, to put it plain and simple. And I'm going to actually time and go and measure to see exactly what I was based on that, because it's all audio recorded, this stuff. It's not even difficult to tell. But yeah, when he passed me, I told him, I don't know what I told him, fuck you, whatever I told him. So I know exactly when he passed me. Walk through here like this on the side of the road is not a crime. And it's nothing wrong with reducing the vehicle to the proper speed, not to cut in front of the individual and reduce the speed that you look like you did something normal when you really did not, to put it plain and simple. And then go and make the deal out of this like this one. You don't do that stuff. So, that was it. I made a mistake here. There is a mistake. Let me see something else here. Yeah. No, there is absolutely no mistake. The rest of the stuff it can be seen here on this video here. I'm going to play you. Let me see. I did explain everything. This is not in the middle of the road. This is exactly what I told you. Right on the border with his property and the road. That would be, in my opinion, still considered as the road. The police officer female wanted to get the statements from me, and the statements about what exactly did he stated me he will do to me. I did not want to give her any statements, but of course he was threatening. He threatened. He actually even ordered for me to wait so we can have a fight, that I will see now. And this is why I walked away from it. Now let's see something else here. This is where my video ends. This is where I count. This is how I measure basically exactly where I was. Once I properly record the location of the attack, it's where I basically go straight in front of his house. That you can see right there. That's a public property right there. A road, the limit. Yeah, this is what I pulled the telephone out and I start calling the police. This is how this stuff was. He interrupted me with calling a police. Simple as this. So, there you go. That's all there is to it. When it comes to the two police officers, yeah, she was trying to get the statement from me, what exactly he said. She was trying to find in as many proofs against me, something that I'm lying, something that is just not it, that it's hard to believe my statements or whatever as possible. And I cut short by just explaining her that everything is, in fact, video recorded. And since it is video recorded, actually audio recorded, not only video recorded, it makes no sense for me to guess exact words that he stated to me. But I felt threatened, let's put it this way. I felt threatened enough to walk away from it. And obviously I was not wrong, because once I came to this location here, that you see toward the end of this garage here that you see from the neighboring property, once I did that, I was not wrong. He came out and he assaulted me. He appeared wanted to hit me. He did not push me with his chest. He actually launched himself into me with his chest. That's a difference. And I did not respond to that stuff. That's assault. It's a difference between pushing somebody with the chest and basically launching himself into me with his chest. This guy launched himself into me. It was not pushing, but it was launching himself into me, while I keep my hands down. And yes, he wanted to have a physical fight. He indicated this with his hands, but I continued to keep my hands down, directly in his face. This guy was hallucinating. This was also one of the people who hallucinated about having a physical fight with me. So this is just another one. One more, basically. That's all there is to it. Is like anything more that I would add about the police? Yeah, I remember this girl going through university and stuff like this, supposedly that she liked me. It's funny because this guy also liked me. This police officer also liked me. They all liked me. Yes, it is. There's more to it. I did try to explain them because they said that it's irrelevant about the MK Ultra. You know, if they were involved in MK Ultra, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But actually, it does matter because if you're involved in a lot of crime and you try to resolve your involvement in crime through the physical assaults like this, it actually matters. It matters a lot. Right? Am I correct or am I not correct? These people are involved in a lot of hate crimes, a lot of violence. And so how exactly do you come about, how exactly do you come out with as posing a physical threat, like getting yourself in a physical fight with somebody whom you have caused so much harm? If not basically to say, oh, well, you know, he said this because he could say, he said this because he committed the crime over there or whatever. And that's exactly what they look for. Those are the unique circumstances these thugs look for. And it's just not the case. So the two police officers who alone were involved in this stuff, they don't want to know anything about it. So that's basically enough for me to consider including the two police officers who came on this location, the whole thing for what it is. It's nice that police department sent the two police officers who were directly pertaining to this crime here. That's like very, very, very nice. These two police officers that would stop by at this particular location here, and they stopped by here on maybe just maybe they have them here only. Maybe they have them only here for like 2 occasions, maybe 3 occasions that the 2 of them would be here. Now, actually 3 occasions for sure. But it was the people from village, police investigators, others, including with these people here, that rehearsed this stuff, if you understand me what I'm saying. They did, one more is very important. I did explain to you exactly what this guy explained me the whole thing, what he's going to do. His father didn't want to have anything to do with this because it meant to be a problem. But the son was interested. He signed up with Borut Pahor, with Milan Kučan, with Robert Golob for something. What exactly, I do not know. Job promotion, whatever the hell it was. I have no idea what exactly it was. Maybe credit or whatever, loan, whatever the case might be, new parcel, whatever the case might be. I don't know, I don't care, but definitely was because the father was even angry about that stuff on his son. And then once the son, it was decided that this is going to be a crime, believe it or not, the father would come out again to threaten me on what exactly he would do with me physically based on his violent past he enforced here with me. Father realized during MK Ultra I was afraid of him because of his physical outbursts, violence. And he was certain that whatever is going to take place is not going to even come out or whatever the case might be. Well, you know, what can I say? It's well described. I well described this stuff. Yes, this was in 2025. The house was here since earlier. Um, Shit, I don't actually even exclude that I'm thinking about the first house here that was here. Yeah, 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 man. I don't have anything else I would add to this video. I wasn't going around the village and counting the houses and stuff like this. I This stuff was so ugly that this part of the road that I would not even go and when the stuff is really bad, you try to block automatically with your brain, and that's what she saw as a mental illness. So basically, degree of violence, the more violence, the merrier, the happier. The fuck, that's what they figure out. The police, not the police, but organized crime at this bunker here that they have, these people are not in the right state of mind. These people believe that the more violence, the better. This is just like, I mean, they keep running, but, where do they go with it? I mean, where do they try to go? Where do they try to escape with this stuff when there is no escape? I mean, on my blog, I so thoroughly described the stuff they were doing that what the hell are they even trying? I mean, what the hell are they even bothering with it? I mean, they are just stealing my time, making it worse than they already made things worse. And that's why I am, I'm determined to punish entire Slovenia for this stuff. You simply don't have the right. That's the thing. You just don't have the right to do this stuff. You don't have absolutely any kind of rights to do that kind of stuff. What I recorded with was a narrow, I think even 960 resolution, just like the one I am video recording with it now. Yeah, but really, I must have been somewhere here, I would say, when video recording, like somewhere like this second video, something like that, when I was video recording this stuff, something like this. Yeah, just like that. I kind of felt uncomfortable really with this stuff. I was suggested once I called the police, and the police I called just as I explained. Once I had it back here, he was smashing something on the window, on the windows. No, you could not see shit like this. And he was talking about something Supreme Court, whatever. It has something to do with the MK Ultra, and I have no fucking idea what. I was on this side of the road here, right in front of the house. I was calling the police. Yeah, I did what he should have done it if he felt really threatened, because during MK Ultra was all about you come at my house, you come at my doorsteps and doorsteps. These are my fucking doorsteps. These are my fucking doorsteps. Here is where I came here as a child. My father bought a parcel here when I was a child. These are my fucking doorsteps. This is a public road here. These are my fucking doorsteps. I was the one who called the police, who ended up calling the police. If you felt threatened about this stuff, you should have called the police. He implied on incident that my niece's husband had in front of our house at home, with in front of the children. That was with the car battery incident that he created, my niece's husband. He was worried about what the children are going to see or what the children are not going to see. But he was not worried about coming, stalking me basically out here to this location here to have a physical fight with me and assault me. You understand me what I'm saying? He was worried about what the children are going to see, but he was not worried about physical assault he committed. What kind of cookie brain is this? I mean, if you love your children so much, you really want to chase the stranger on the road, or do you want to call the police if you are afraid of him? It wasn't about me knowing him. It was about him being involved in crime and trying to find a solution to his involvement in crime through what I pointed out right here. That's what this was about. And if you use a little bit common sense as a police officers, it would have been much easier, life, work would have been much easier on you. That's exactly what this was. In Slovenia, they rely more on the judges, who knows whom, etc., etc. Well, good luck with this. I don't have anything else I will add to this video. I am thinking about if I missed anything else out of this video in respect to the this police officers, about him whatsoever. The dispatcher would not give me his name. Dispatcher would not give me his badge number, anything. The case was not issued to me. The agreement was made by my sending email with video and with audio to the police station. This stuff supposedly based on brainwash. He absolutely, it should have been, so he claimed that just like the other guy who was related in the incident at the Graben, a middle finger guy that jumped out of the car and rushed toward me to have a physical fight, who also was involved in Mount Everest of crime against me. You see, this is the same shit over and over and over and over again. Creating an incident and then attempting to develop one into the physical confrontation. And then it's assaults and batteries they commit. That's what this shit is. And police watching from the distance when it would be finally the opportunity for them to respond to this stuff in a way they hallucinated they would do this stuff. This individual, basically the same thing. He also insisted me that he's got a camera inside, that he's got a telephone inside of the car, and so on. That that kind of shit. Basically, this is the stuff that he hallucinated about. That he's got cameras, that he's got a camera, that he's got a telephone. That even that his window is going to be opened, even that kind of stuff, that in the summertime that he's got a window open. That was one of the things he also stated from the car. And the rest of it, it was all about, soon as I get the kids out, this guy got in my face during MK Ultra, showing himself off physically on how he's going to fight me. And finally, this is how it ended today on August the 28th of 2025. Must say, not in a shy way for me. I feel good about this. The workshop is completed. Yeah, father threatened me. Really threatened me. These people threatened even with the use of guns, with a firearm. So these people are, the way I see it, these people are nuts. These people are always nuts. These people but these people always were nuts. These people threatened with a firearm, that kind of stuff, physical violence, so on. They felt that I was scared during MK Ultra and was certain that, whatever the bet was today is going to be expensive. No, I don't have anything else to say. This is directly related again to the Novomesto police station, to this here, to this garbage here. This is just exactly what I would anticipate as a response from somebody who really seriously, I mean, what is this guy, director, the so-called director of Novomesto police station, Igor Yushi, what the fuck is this guy still doing as a director of Novomesto police station? I mean, you flashing with that. Now I'm not going to even say what. I mean, this is completely failed. The female police officer is Slovenian, but it's what he felt comfortable to work with. All right. There's one more thing we're gonna do. It's called date and time. There you go. There you go. And that's your date and time. Right there. Still done on August the 28th, 2025. Yeah, I care about making this stuff punctual. These are the police halls, the locations, the contracts that people signed with police, and we will resolve these issues in a timely manner.